Good day, grade 8. I am your teacher, Marie.
Good day, grade 8. Now, we're going to discuss a new topic. Let us enjoy watching while learning.
Factoring. Factoring is a significant process in algebra which is used in simplifying expressions, simplifying fractions, and solving equations. The next few lessons explain how to factor numbers, expression, and equation. Before you proceed to the topic, let us first answer the given activity. How did you find the general category of the given group of names? To find the general category, you will discover that there are interconnected characteristics in each term that shows commonality. The first type of factoring that you will encounter is factoring the greatest common monomial factor. Factoring is the counterpart of multiplying. To factor an expression, you're going to write an equivalent expression that is a product of two or more expressions. The distributive property is used to write the polynomial in factor form. Let us recall that the distributive property states that AB plus AC is equal to A times the quantity of B plus C. The expression A times the quantity B plus C is the factor form of AB plus AC. A is the common factor of the terms. Any polynomial that cannot be written as the product of two other polynomials except 1 and -1 is said to be a prime. A polynomial is said to be factored completely. In factoring polynomial, we use the following steps. First, find the greatest common factor or GCF of the numerical. Second, check the variable which appears in all the terms. If a variable appears in all terms, choose the lowest degree of each variable. Third, divide each all terms by the greatest common factor. Fourth, write the factor form. It is the product of the greatest common factor and the resulting expression after dividing each term by the GCF. In factoring polynomial with 4 terms, we're going to use factoring by grouping. We can use the following steps. First, write the 4 terms so that the first 2 terms have a common factor and the last 2 terms have a common factor. Second, use distributive property to factor each group of 2 terms. Third, factor the greatest common from the resulting in the step 2. To check, multiply the factor. The product should always be the given. If not, something is wrong with the factor.
Let us factor 9x squared plus 15x. So 9x squared is equal to 3 times x plus 3 times 5 is equal to 15 times x. Then find the greatest common factor in each term. So we have 3 and x in the both first term and second term. So the common factor is 3x times the remaining factor of the given binomial x plus 5. Therefore, the factor of 9x squared plus 15x is 3x times x plus 5. Another example, 3x plus 12. So what is the common factor of 3x plus 12? So what's the factor of 3x? We have 3 times x. How about 12? We have 3 times 4. Then copy the operation that we have. So we have 3 times x plus 3 times 4. Then the common factor is 3. So write 3 times the remaining factor x plus 4. X plus. Therefore, 3x plus 12 can be factored by 3 times the quantity x plus 4. Let us have another example. A squared b minus 6ab plus 4a minus 24. In this given example, we're going to use factoring by grouping because we have given 4 terms. First, we're going to write the 4 terms so that the first 2 terms have a common factor and the last 2 terms have a common factor. So let us group. Next, use distributive property to factor each group of 2 terms. Next, let us use distributive property to factor each group of 2 terms. A, b, times the remaining factor in the given 2 terms, a minus 6. Copy the sign plus. What's the common factor in the last 2 terms? We have 4 times the remaining factor, a minus 6. So we have a common factor in the given 2 terms. This will be the first term and this will be the second term. So the common factor in the given 2 terms, we have a minus 6, then write a minus 6 times the remaining factor ab, then positive 4. So the factor of a squared b minus 6ab plus 4a minus 24 is a minus 6 times the quantity ab plus 4.
Now that you have learned how to factor polynomial using the greatest common factor, we can move to the next type of factoring, which is the difference of 2 squared. Why do you think it was given such name? To model it, let's try doing the activity followed. Tell whether each of the following binomial is different of 2 squared. If the binomial satisfies these two conditions, then use factoring difference of 2 squared. First, each term is squared. Second, there is a minus sign between two terms. The circled polynomial is an example of difference of 2 squared. The product a squared minus b squared is called a difference of 2 squared. Its factors are a plus b and a minus b. Therefore, to factor a difference of 2 squared, the process is reversed. Identify the a and b and construct the sum and difference factors. The factor form of polynomial that is a difference of 2 squared is the sum and difference of the square root of the first and last term. In factoring the difference of 2 squared, we use the following step. First, factor out the common monomial factor or GCF. Then, get the square root of the first term of the binomial. Third, get the square root of the second term of the binomial. And last, express the factor as the product of the sum and difference of the results in step 2 and 3.
Let us factor x to the fourth minus 81. So first, factor out the common factor. So the common factor of the given example is 1. Then, get the square root of the first term of the binomial. So we have the first term x to the fourth. What is the square root? We have x squared. Then, get the square root of the second term. We have negative 81. 9 times negative 9. Then express the factor as the product of the sum and difference of the squared in step 2 and 3. So you have x squared plus 9 times x squared minus 9. Then the factor of x to the fourth minus 81 is x squared plus 9 times x squared minus 9. Is this the final answer? No, because x squared minus 9 can also be factored by the difference of 2 squared because the first term x squared is perfect square. Then 9 is also perfect square and they have negative sign. Therefore, let us factor 9. Therefore, let us factor x squared minus 9. X times x. Then we have negative 9. The square root of negative 9 is 3. So we have negative 3 and 3. Therefore, we have x minus 3 times x plus. Therefore, the factor of x to the fourth minus 81 is x squared plus 9 times x minus 3 times x plus 3. Another example, 4x squared minus 16. First, let us find the common factor of the given binomial. So we have 4 times x squared minus 4. So 4 times x squared is 4x squared. 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. So we have factor out 4. Then, let us factor x squared minus 4 by factoring the difference of 2 squared. So what is the square root of the first term x squared? So we have x. How about negative 4? 2 and negative 2. Then write the factor as a product of sum and difference of the resulting in step 2 and 3. So we have x plus 2 times x minus, then copy the common factor or the greatest common factor. Therefore, the final answer in 4x squared minus 16 is 4 times x plus 2 times the quantity x minus.
You have learned from the previous activity how factoring the difference of 2 squared is done and what expression is considered as the difference of 2 squared. Now, you are ready to find the factor of the sum or difference of 2 cubes. Expand the expression as fast as you can. To expand the expression, you're going to factor. Remove the perfect cube inside the back. To identify the perfect cube, you're going to find the cube root of each number. Factoring polynomial using the sum and difference of 2 cubes. We can determine binomial that can be factored a sum or difference of 2 cubes if the polynomial satisfies these two conditions. First, it is binomial. Second, each term is a cube. The following patterns are applied in factoring sum or difference of two cubes. To factor the sum or difference of two cubes, we have to get the binomial and the trinomial factors. To get the binomial factor, we can use following steps. First, get the cube root of the first term of the sum or difference. Second, the cube root of the last term of the sum or difference. Third, express the result in step 1 and 2 as binomial. To get the trinomial factor, we use the following steps. First, square the first term of the binomial factor. Second, add the additive inverse of the product of the first and last term of the binomial factor. Third, add the square of the first term, add the square of the last term of the binomial factor, and last, simplify the result. You notice that we have binomial and trinomial factors. We have the same pattern, but the only difference is the sign of the binomial and the trinomial factors.
So let us try to factor 8x cubed plus 1. So to get the binomial factor, we're going to get the cube root of the first term and second term, then copy the sign. So what is the cube root of 8x cubed? We have 2x. Then the cube root of 1, still 1. Then copy the sign. So this will be the binomial factor. Then to get the trinomial factor, we're going to square the first term of the binomial factor. So this will be the first term. Then what is the square of 2x? It is 4x squared. Then get the inverse of the sign. We have negative. And to get the middle term, we're going to multiply the first term and the second term. So 2x times 1 is 2x. To get the last term, it is always positive. So we have positive. Then squared of the second term of the binomial factor. So what is the squared of 1? It is 1. So the factor of 8x cubed plus 1 is 2x plus 1 times the quantity of 4x squared minus 2x plus 1. So let us try to factor 128j to the sixth power minus 250k to the third power. So first, we're going to find the greatest common factor. So the greatest common factor is 2 times. So 128j to the sixth power divided by 2 is 64j to the sixth power minus 250 divided by 2 is 125k to the third power. Then, let's proceed to find the binomial factor. So, what is the cube root of 64j to the 6? We have 4. 4j to the second, or 4j squared. Then, copy the sign. We have minus. Then, what is the cube root of 125k to the third power? Yes, it is 5k. Times the common factor. Then let us find out the trinomial factor. So, what is the squared of the first term in the binomial factor? We have 4j squared. What is the squared of 4j squared? It is 10j to the fourth. Then, inverse the sign. So, we have negative. What is the inverse of negative? It is positive. Then, multiply the first term and the second term to get the middle term of a given trinomial factor. So what is the product of 4j squared times 5k? So we have 20j squared k. Then always positive in the third term. Then find the squared of the second term in the binomial factor. So the binomial factor is 4j squared minus 5k, and the second term is negative 5k. So what is the squared of negative 5k? So we have 25k squared. So the factor of the given 128j to the 6 minus 250k cubed is 2 times the quantity 4j squared minus 5k times the quantity 16j to the fourth plus 20j squared k plus 25k squared.
Thank you. Enjoy watching while learning. This is your teacher. I am Teacher Marie. This is your teacher, Miss Marimar F. Figalan.